Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to Brother Makes. Today I'm going to go...
Matt. Yo!
Hey, where you been?
Been on holiday. Told you last time.
What the hell are you wearing?
I just got off the plane. It's like 2 hours ago. Right. What are we doing? Hi, I'm Johnny, and this is my brother Matt. And today we're going to show you how to make... What are we making? Oh yeah. So this week we're going to show you how to make a project, which is a piece of wall art inspired by all things Jurassic Park.
A few months ago, we made this Jurassic Park sign, and we put a picture of it on our Instagram. One of our friends commented and suggested that we enter the Art of Geek challenge.
They set a different challenge every month, and to celebrate the release of the new film, this month is all about the Jurassic Park franchise.
We were really keen to recreate one of our favourite scenes from the movie, and we found an amazing piece of artwork which captured this scene perfectly. We'll pop a link to it in the description below.
So here's how we made it. We started this project by printing off the artwork which we'll be using as a template. Because of the size that we wanted, we had to print this into 4 sections and tape them together. We made 2 of these, one to be used as a reference and the other as a template.
We're going to start work on the dinosaur first, and to do this we roughly cut out each of the pieces on the template using a scalpel. We then stuck these onto some scrap pine before setting up the scroll saw to cut to the line.
The scroll saw is perfect for this kind of job because it can cut much tighter radiuses than the bandsaw. For any internal cuts, you just have to drill a hole, thread the small blade through, and then just cut as normal.
The scroll saw leaves a pretty decent cut, but we wanted to sand the worst of the saw marks away. We attached some 80 grit sandpaper to a scrap board and used this to sand all of the small pieces. This keeps your fingers from getting really close to the disc or the belt sander.
We're using pallet wood for this project because the natural weathered look is similar to the style of the background on the artwork. We used a reciprocating saw and a hammer to separate each of the boards.
Whenever we run pallet wood through our machines, we use a metal detector just to make sure that there are no rogue nails left anywhere. We then use our homemade jointing jig to tidy up one edge of the board before flipping each one over and cleaning up the other side against the table saw fence.
We trimmed each board close to their final length in the miter saw and then used wood glue and a whole load of clamps to turn these individual boards into a panel. We used some straight pieces of scrap wood covered in packaging tape to prevent the panel from warping as it dries. Once dry, we then used our sliding miter saw to trim to the final length.
The other major part to this project is the Jeep, and we wanted to use a different technique on this and decided on the router. We rough cut out the template and used spray adhesive to glue it onto the panel. In order to prevent chip out, we carefully went around the template with a scalpel and then used a pencil to darken these lines.
Using our custom router jig, we freehand cut to the line using a 3mm single flue router bit. We don't have a CNC in the shop, so we figured this would be the next best thing.
We only had to do a little bit of tidying up after the router thanks to scoring the lines previously. We used a small file and some sandpaper to do this.
Since we used 2 different cutting techniques, we wanted to use 2 finishing techniques also. The way we decided to finish the pine was to scorch it with a blowtorch. Now this was the part we were both really looking forward to. We love the texture that this gives and the fact that you can still see the grain coming through. Once done, we used a couple of coats of spray lacquer to seal it.
The finish we went with for the Jeep was a black spray paint. We taped off the edges to prevent overspray and sprayed on 2 coats. Once dry, we sanded the top surface back to reveal the Jeep underneath.
We used some 5-minute epoxy to attach all of our pieces of scorched pine to the pallet backboard. A Epoxy works better than wood glue here, since the top surface of the pallets aren't completely flat.
The last thing to do before we could call this project done was to add a hardwood frame in a contrasting colour, as we thought this would finish off the piece really nicely.
This was a really fun challenge, as it was cool to try out some different techniques and learn some new skills.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all the other entries, and we'd love it if you could like and subscribe. Until next time, guys.